welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast, a podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of every recipient of the Medal of Honor. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tales of Honor Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of every Medal of Honor recipient. I'm your host, Christoph Ambrosch, and today's episode is episode number 232, and it is the last of our Korean War series, which we've done now for the last 2 months. Going to move on to another conflict next month and the month after, so stay tuned to social media to see what that's going to be. And if you have a special request, please go ahead and send it on over to me. I'll do the best that I can to get it done. Send it to me via messages through any of the social media, Instagram and Facebook I'm most active on, and talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And now, a tale of honor. Frank was born on the 19th of August, 1921, in Indian Gap, Texas. After graduating from Roaring Springs High School in 1938, he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps and served aboard the USS Enterprise in the Pacific during World War II. Frank was commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1945 and attended Colorado College, Southwestern University, and North Texas Agricultural and Mechanical College under the Navy V-12 program, which was a program designed to produce officers that were technically trained in specific fields. When Frank had deployed to Korea, he was a first lieutenant, and it was his actions during the Battle of Chosin Reservoir that would cost him his life and earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, as leader of a rifle platoon of Company A, 1st Battalion, 7th Marines, 1st Marine Division reinforced, in action against enemy aggressor forces in Korea on 26 November 1950. Leading his platoon in a point position during a patrol by his company through a thickly wooded and snow-covered area in the vicinity of Hasan-ni, First Lieutenant Mitchell acted immediately when the enemy suddenly opened fire at point-blank range, pinning down his forward elements and inflicting numerous casualties in his ranks. Boldly dashing to the front under blistering fire from automatic weapons and small arms, he seized an automatic rifle from one of the wounded men and effectively trained it against the attackers and, when his ammunition was expended, picked up and hurled grenades with his deadly accuracy, at the same time directing and encouraging his men in driving the outnumbering enemy from his position. Maneuvering to set up a defense when the enemy furiously counterattacked to the front and left flank, First Lieutenant Mitchell, despite wounds sustained early in the action, reorganized his platoon under devastating fire and spearheaded a fierce hand-to-hand struggle to repulse the onslaught. Asking for volunteers to assist in searching for and evacuating the wounded, he personally led a party of litter bearers through the hostile lines in growing darkness and, although suffering intense pain from multiple wounds, stormed ahead and waged a single-handed battle against the enemy, successfully covering the withdrawal of his men before he was fatally struck down by a burst of small arms fire. Stout-hearted and indomitable in the face of tremendous odds, First Lieutenant Mitchell, by his fortitude, great personal valor, and extraordinary heroism, saved the lives of several Marines and inflicted heavy casualties among the aggressors. His unyielding courage throughout reflects the highest credit upon himself and the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country." Frank's Medal of Honor was presented to his wife and daughter in their house in Atlanta, Georgia, on the 6th of August, 1952, by the acting director of the 6th Marine Corps Reserve District. Frank Nicias Mitchell is buried in the Roaring Springs Cemetery in Roaring Springs, Texas, IMO, Center Section, Row D. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor Podcast. Head on over to talesofhonorpodcast.com for more information, other ways to listen and support the podcast, and please be sure to leave a good rating and a nice review. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Christoph Ambrosch. Thanks for listening.